Let's graph this linear inequality y is greater than x plus 3. There are actually three parts to do that. First, we're going to graph it as if it was a linear equation. Then, we're going to determine whether it's going to be a solid or dotted line. And finally, we're going to find a test point to determine which side of the line to shade. So first, we're going to do the linear graph. So we're going to write the equation as y equals x plus 3. Now when I look at that, I see that it's already in my slope-intercept form. And I'm going to write that right under here, y equals mx plus b. I do that because right away I see that my y-intercept b equals 3 and my slope equals 1. Now remember, we want to write it as a fraction for our rise over run, which is 1 over 1. So let's do that. First, my y-intercept, that means where it crosses the y-axis, is 3. So I'm going to put a dot over here at 3. And now my slope is rise over run. It will be 1 over 1. So I'm going to rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1. And I can keep going. Now, what I have to decide next is if it's a dotted or a solid line. And I determine that from looking right here. Since it's greater than, it's going to be a dotted line. So that's what I'm going to do next. Now you're going to be using a ruler, so yours is going to look a lot better than mine. But there's our dotted line. Finally, our last decision is a test point. We need to decide if we're going to shade above the line or if we're going to shade below the line. Now, I always like to use 0, 0 as a test point. The only time I can't use 0, 0 is if it's actually on the line, but in this case it's not. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, my inequality, y is greater than x plus 3. Now I'm going to put 0, 0 in there. 0 is greater than 0 plus 3. Now 0 plus 3 is 3. So I have 0 is greater than 3. Now is that a true statement? Is 0 greater than 3? No, that's actually false. So that means I'm going to shade the side that's opposite of 0, 0, that test point. And actually, that's all there is to do to graph a linear inequality.